I mean, how you really feel, right? I'm asking you that question because tonight I want to call the doctor. That's right, but I don't want to have to call him for real. I want to make sure everybody is feeling really good, all right? And we got to call the right doctors because we love you doctors, right? And I'm trying to get understanding what's happening. In 2019, a study shows only 15% of Americans reported feeling a great deal of confidence in the U.S. doctors and the medical system compared to Canada, England, France, and other countries. Now, if that's true, if it's true, then that means 85% of Americans don't trust doctors. And this was pre-COVID. And I'm thinking maybe it's because they're called doctors, right? Because with a label, you can make anyone scary. The physicians, those surgeons, the white coats, very scary. Those homeopathic herbalists, Homo sapiens. I know. When in reality, doctors are humans trying to help other humans. And I keep thinking, maybe it's because doctors have equipment to see our insides. How about that? Yeah? Think about it. Most people reserve who they truly are in front of strangers or their first date. And sometimes we never know who our closest friends or family members really are. It takes a situation to reveal some of us. Like family reunions, holiday visits, Ramadan iftars. Brother Abdullah, is that who you really are? Everyone has been fasting and you're gonna hide a dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts under the table? And that one is based on a true story. Or maybe, guys, maybe it's the idea that you can't hide your issues from the doctor. They can see your true self, your heart, your lungs, your brain, mental balance or mental imbalance. I'm fine, doctor. No, you're not. Or maybe it just comes with the job. They do have needles. It's legal for them to cut you up, take your blood, and put a camera where the sun don't shine. All in the name of good health. I guess it could be a little scary. So what would make American doctors or Americans trust doctors more? American doctors feel that love and that trust. I don't know, but tonight, we'll talk about it with our guests. We have doctors here tonight. I'm excited. We called the doctors and they came. I know they're going to find some issues with me, but I'm not going to be the only one. I'm going to pick one of you guys out of the audience, and you're coming too. Listen, so we got doctors here tonight, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. And now, the Regan Report. A patient wanted to show his doctor how much he appreciated him, especially during this pandemic, so on his next visit he memorized some jokes that he read from Google. Why do people think these are funny? I don't know. The patient yelled out, "Doctor, did you hear about the guy who lost his whole left side?" The doctor replied, "No." The patient said, "He's all right now." That's sad. The patient laughed out loud. The doctor nodded to be nice. The patient went again. "What did the man say to the x-ray technician after swallowing some money?" The doctor replied, "What did he say?" The man said, "Do you see any change in me?" The man laughed. The doctor chuckled and said, "I've taken the liberty of scheduling your next psych evaluation." As we give love and appreciation for all of our doctors, we have to highlight Ibn Sina, known to the West as Avicenna. He was a Muslim from Uzbekistan. He was among the great sages of Islamic medicine. Ibn Sina is best known, or is the best known in the West, considered as the successor to Galen. His great medical treatise, the Canon, was the standard textbook on medicine in the Arab world and Europe in the 17th century. He was a philosopher, physician, psychiatrist, and a poet, a great doctor. Thank you to all of our doctors for everything that you do. And this has been the Regan Report. Thank you very much. I've had something. That guy is throwing me off. Those corny jokes. Welcome back. So, listen, as we've been talking about doctors, you can't hear from me. I'm not a doctor. Let's actually invite my doctors to the show. That's right. I have American board certified doctors. They are amazing. My first doctor that I want to introduce you to is an ophthalmologist. And I had to make sure that I said that word correctly. Ophthalmologist. Yes, guys, you say it with me. Ophthalmologist. That's right. That means that, you know, she check your eyes, okay? She want to know what you're looking at, what's going on. She can fix you up, right? And then, but not only is she just your ophthalmologist, this woman here is an eye girl, Dr. MD. So she's Instagram, she's blowing up, she's doing all of her lessons there. You guys need to follow her. Please welcome inside of the studios, Dr. Noor Amra.
Oh my God. Assalamu alaikum, Omar, brother Omar. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me. And oh my, what an introduction. If I could be introduced like that on a daily basis, I'd have no problem with the doctor trust issue.
Hey man, I am happy about that. And she's not alone. I have Dr. Noor here. And then this lady's brand is modesty and medicine. And one of her favorite quotes is, "There's freedom in being underestimated." We're going to find more about that. Let's welcome Dr. Alia Barwani inside of the studio. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. It's a pleasure to join you guys today.
I know. Thank you for coming here. And you guys are, look at you all. Look at you. You got your white coats on. Now now listen, we were talking about this here in the first part of the show. It's like, you know, you guys, are you called white coats?
No. We prefer not to be referred to as white coats.
And that's what I was figuring. I was like, I think that, you know, you can scare anybody with a name. Like, you can like, oh my God, the white coats. Right? You know, but if you're really humans helping other humans.
And actually, Brother Omar, sorry to interrupt, but it's really funny that you would say that about how the white coat scares people, because there's actually a condition called white coat hypertension, which means high blood pressure that is triggered by being in a doctor's setting. So it's actually a condition, which is really funny that you should mention that.
It's definitely true, yeah.
That sounds very scary.
Yes.
Dr. Noor, like, what's going on with the ophthalmology? And what's the difference between ophthalmologists and optometrists?
I think a lot of people don't know the difference, and my husband included, but ophthalmologists, we deal with diseases of the eye, and we also perform surgeries on the eye, versus optometrists, you know, will prescribe glasses and contact lenses and also deal with certain diseases of the eye, but not perform surgery. So that's kind of the biggest difference. So we are medical doctors, and eye surgery is our thing. So that's what differentiates us.
So I like that. So you can pretty much get an eye-to-eye perspective of things.
Yep. Yeah. My kids think I could take out your eye, fix it, and mail it back to you. So
So all of these lines, the highways that's in our eyes, do they tell us things?
SubhanAllah, the eye is one of the most intricate organs, and SubhanAllah, there's so much to discover in the eye. Oftentimes, we can actually diagnose a patient's medical conditions and, things like diabetes, hypertension, all by looking into the eye. Oftentimes, I've diagnosed patients with even cancer before just by looking into their eyes. So there's a lot to be seen inside.
Oh my God, you are amazing. You are really good. Look into my eyes. Please tell me, am I okay? Am I okay?
You got to come in. I can't believe I haven't seen you as a patient. So Omar and I we're local, so we're both in California. So come on in.
I'm really truly grateful for these kind words. Dr. Barwani. I like this name. Can you tell us about the Barwani?
My father is from Oman, and so it's a pretty common name I guess I say common, but it's a well-known name in Oman, but it's just my family name.
Oh man, that is so cool. I like it's got a ring to it, Barwani. So listen, you're a family physician, so you don't mess with single people.
Well, yeah, you got to come in as a group.
If you don't have a family, you're right. If you don't have a family, you're out of you're not seeing Dr. Alia Barwani. Is that what you're saying here as a family physician?
No, not at all. Actually, it's the opposite. We see everybody. So family physician means that I see everybody from cradle to grave. So I'm seeing newborns, I'm seeing kids, I'm seeing women, I'm seeing pregnant women, I'm seeing adults, and I'm seeing the elderly, so geriatric patients.
Oh, so when it says family physician, that just means that now you have a doctor in the family.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
I get it now. It didn't register. Right? You see how my brain works? I don't know what happened to
Yeah,
me.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yes, me too. So you said you see pregnant women. Have you seen any pregnant men?
No, as of today, I have not yet seen one. So I'll keep you posted.
Thank God, thank God. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. Our show today is Call the Doctor. I want to call the doctor. I want to find out from doctors, do you know about this studies of the mistrust that people have with doctors and, committed your life into looking after and healing other human beings. And how does that make you feel if people say they don't trust you?
Personally, I put a lot of effort into establishing a rapport and a connection with my patients. And so it's in any relationship, trust is very important. And I feel like a patient and doctor relationship is definitely a very important one to have. That relationship should feel safe to you. And so trust is a really important part of that relationship. So that is a disturbingly low number as far as what I've heard is with patients' mistrust of physicians.
And Dr. Noor, does it sting you too?
Trust is the cornerstone of a patient-physician relationship, and without it, how are you able to help and heal a patient? And it's really staggering the numbers that you hear about, the lack of trust, and it's just getting worse and worse. And I think, I don't know, Dr. Alia probably agrees, but as a Muslim woman as well, we kind of have also that kind of extra element where we have to really gain our patients' trust, where most patients aren't really used to seeing a Muslim woman in hijab as their physician. So I think that's an extra added element that we have to deal with. And so oftentimes I find that me personally, I'm always trying to go above and beyond for my patients because, oftentimes I'm the first Muslim that my patients have ever met. So there's that element too that we have to kind of overcome as well.
That is exactly where I was gonna go to next. First, you're already a doctor. I imagine when the distrust is there, right? Or the mistrust. When the mistrust is there, then people are always looking, no, what are you doing? And you'd be like, I just want to look into your eyes to help you. Oh, wait, I don't trust you, right? And so you can't really help them. But I want to know, as not only are you coming in there as a doctor, but then you come in with hijab. Oh.
My experience, has been in my many years of practice now, I'd say just a handful of patients where I've had, requests to see a different doctor before even meeting me, just based on the fact that I was a Muslim woman. But like I said, those are very far, and most of my experiences have been, alhamdulillah, very positive. But my fear was there. I'm not going to lie to you. Even when I was applying to residency, I remember meeting with one of my interviewees at a program, and he specifically told me, he was an older white male, and he had told me that our program, I'm going to let you in on a secret, our program does not like to accept people that look different. And I, to this day, that just stuck with me.
You know what the funny part about that is? He actually was trying to say it in a nice way.
He was, he subhanAllah, I ended up getting accepted to that program, and he ended up, but that just, I just couldn't, it was shocking that somebody would say something like that. He was an elderly male in his 70s, and he passed away shortly thereafter. But the fact that there is a lot of, barriers, and people don't want a physician that, the fear is that wearing your hijab is going to scare away their patients. And so
can I ask you, you gave me another question. You said he passed away shortly after that. I mean, was those his last words to you? Dr.
No, but it stuck with me because a lot of people were like, that's a big liability for a physician to say that to an interviewee. Like, why don't you seek out? And you know what?
God rest his soul. God rest his soul.
Yeah, God bless his soul, Allah yarhamhu. But that, I'm not the only one. A lot of Muslim women that I've spoken to in the field of medicine face that. And I think times are definitely improving because we're more visible, and subhanAllah, I think the digital world has put Muslim women in hijab kind of in the picture now, and that's really helped change the perception of what a Muslim woman is capable of, and there's still a lot more to go, but times are changing in a good way.
It is. But isn't that a little bit weird? Like I like the way you put it, that everybody else is finally able to see what a Muslim woman in hijab is capable of.
Yeah.
Well, we've been knowing it all the time. Right.
I know, exactly. It's just, the media and, the way we're portrayed is not in the best light. Normally, that we're oppressed, we're uneducated, we don't have a voice, which is far from the truth. So, alhamdulillah, I thank God for giving me this position, because I find it that Allah subhanAllah put me in this position where I can be a representation of the real or true Islam.
And let me add this a side question. You are you forced to wear your hijab? Are you wearing that because you want to?
Oh my God, absolutely. In fact, I can't even tell you how many times I've been told to take it off by very close family members. Have actually told me several times along my journey to becoming a physician, you should take off your hijab. Why are you wearing it? It's going to be a hindrance towards your success. And I truly, in my heart of heart, believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have given me this position if it weren't for his blessings, along the way of me kind of, sticking with that. And I find that more and more I fall in love with my hijab more and more being in this position, because
And your hijab loves you back. Yes.
No, alhamdulillah. I love hijab so much, and a big part of that is that, honestly, if I weren't wearing hijab, I don't think a lot of people would necessarily know that I was a Muslim woman. And the fact that wearing hijab kind of is a flag that, here I am, a Muslim woman, and yes, I'm able to combat those negative portrayals of Islam.
I like that. And Dr. Alia, you were telling us about an incident where someone freaked out or was like, just because of your hijab, and you were in a place called Alabama.
I was in the deep South, definitely. And I stuck out like a sore thumb. And just to go back to some of the things that Noor had mentioned, as far as being a Muslim and then a woman, and then you add on to that being a Black woman. And so when I was in Alabama, I walked into a patient room, and the patient immediately had just his face darkened, and he looked surprised, and he kind of almost, just kind of moved around in his seat very uncomfortably. And so of course I noticed it, and I felt like I had to acknowledge it, because I've never met this patient before, and I wanted to know what was going on. So I kind of looked to him and I said, introduced myself, I'm Dr. Albarwani. I'm here to help you today. I noticed that something made you uncomfortable. I noticed your reaction, like what's going on. And he said to me, oh, I didn't know my doctor was going to be a terrorist.
Oh!
And I was not expecting that. And that just took me back a little bit.
How do you respond to something like that in the moment? Like, what?
I know. I have always had a very quick, sharp tongue, as I've been told. And so my immediate response was, well, I'm very glad to see that the Fox News Corporation has been pivotal in your education.
Oh, that was really good. Shout out to Fox News.
I know.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
Yeah, but the nice thing about that is the humor also helped to diffuse the situation.
Oh, he laughed.
He did. He was able to, he kind of chuckled and was like, yeah, because I feel like that's really where that came from, right? It's as Noor mentioned, it's how that we're being portrayed in the media. And when you're the first Muslim that people are meeting, a lot of the times, that's the bias that they come into a room with. And so when he was able to kind of see that I didn't get angry, I didn't react in a forceful way, and I was just kind of like, it is what it is kind of a thing. We were able to kind of just like, okay, we could address the elephant in the room, and then we could move forward with his care. And so, that was it.
And did you care for him? Did you care for him?
I did, of course. As a physician, it's my duty and obligation to take care of every patient that I,
Saved his life, huh? Lord have mercy. This is amazing. You keep talking. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And I also want to speak to what Dr. Noor said about her experience with residency, with trying to get into residencies. And to any young Muslim students out there, that's a really important point that you make, Dr. Noor, that really at the end of the day, your fate doesn't lie in the hands of these residency program directors. They're not the ones to call the shots at the end of the day. As people of faith, we believe that everything is in Allah's hands. So wearing hijab, not wearing hijab, passing exams, none of that is determined by one person. It's determined only by Allah. And so if you stick to what you believe in, at the end of the day, you're still going to be proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, because you've stuck to your convictions. And that's, I know it's digressing, but it's just a message for a lot of young women, especially out there, who may be struggling with their hijab.
What's wrong with us as the public, that we do not trust our doctors? Because I feel like all doctors should be like you. How can we not look? And then Dr. Noor, let me just say this, by the way. You have like 100K followers on Instagram. Guys, follow her, iGirlMD. That's what she's all about, the eyes, right? Right? And she's teaching medicine and giving good advices. Check out this clip here. Yeah, look at Dr. Noor. Look at Dr. Noor. Look at this. This is amazing.
My whole point of my Instagram was to show, like Dr. Alia had mentioned, was to be, going into medicine and in healthcare. I never had a role model, somebody, and I'm not saying that I'm a role model, but somebody who looked like me in hijab, who had gone through that path. That's how my Instagram started. So I wanted other younger Muslim women to see that, yes, you can go into, a field of medicine. You can be a mom and a doctor. And all too often we're told that you can't go into medicine. You can't become a surgeon. You cannot have a family. And so I love that I get to, be that inshallah, for somebody else, be that kind of person for them. So
it is really inspiring, man. And you're having fun. It's your personality. It's all showing there right here on your gram. So you're being yourself and you're being a doctor. And then I'm looking at Dr. Alia. She's really branding this modesty and medicine. Check her out. Look at this. Look at this. She's a modesty model medicine doctor. This is amazing.
I like to say my side passion is modest fashion, to be honest with you, if I were not doing medicine.
I like that point that you're making, and we're going to come right back to this. I have more with my doctors when we come back. Oh, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Listen, we had to call the doctor back. That's right, something was wrong. As you can tell, that something was wrong, and I wanted to put on something white because I wanted to try to be, I'm inspired by the doctors, right? So I'm building my trust, and I'm bringing all of you guys with me. Let's bring our trust. There's so much mistrust, and I don't know who wants to lead this conversation about this mistrust, because there's two sides. There's the general public, but then there's the doctors, and as we stated, doctors are humans too. So, Dr. Noor?
Well, I think there's, like we talked about, the numbers are staggering in terms of the general public kind of losing trust in doctors. I think the statistics were, like 30% of patients actually trust their doctors, and the numbers can be even lower than that. But I think it's multifactorial, and there are several reasons why we're seeing that. Whereas, many years ago, I think the statistics were like 70% to 80% of patients trusted their doctors. And now, like I said, those numbers are so low. And that can be contributed to several issues. And I think one big one, I think just the digital world we're living in, the digital age. And I think social media has a big role to play in that. I'm a big advocate. I do think social media, it's a double-edged sword. But I think that lack of trust towards doctors can be blamed in part on the digital world and social media, because the amount of fake news and fear-mongering just have widely propagated on the internet, and that sways people away from facts and science. And so oftentimes as doctors, we come in with patients having these, false information, and so we have to kind of rebuild that trust. They don't know who to believe. Do they believe us, or do they believe all the, sources of information that they've gathered? So I think that's one big issue. And like I've heard before, if you tell a lie big enough and you keep repeating it, people will eventually start believing it. And I think we have to correct that. And so that's one source of lack of trust.
Do you agree with that, Dr. Ali?
I do agree that social media or access to online resources in a kind of uncontrolled way, so to speak, does play into that, because as Dr. Noor mentioned, I have a lot of patients who Google their symptoms. I mean, literally, there are these websites where you can put in all your symptoms, and then Dr. Google tells you what you have. And so then I have patients coming in saying,
I make a confession. I have done that. I have to make a confession.
You've used Dr. Google, haven't you?
That's normal, and we like our patients to be informed. That's not an issue, but I think there's just so much false information, and then it's weeding out what sources are they using. If they're using credible sources, I love it. I'm all for it. I love when my patients come in and know what they're, that makes my job easier. But when they're getting their information from false sources, we hear, it's hard for them to differentiate what's the truth and what's false information.
Dr. Alia, I'm sorry. The Dr. Google was, I don't know if he was right or wrong, but I don't know why I trusted Dr. Google more. I don't know.
So I think that there are definitely lots of reasons, and I agree with what Dr. Noor says in terms of, if the source you're using is credible, I'm all for it. And it's the only issue is that I want people to understand that you have to take what you're reading on the internet with a grain of salt, because anybody can create a website. Think about that. Anybody can create a website and put information up there. And so unless you're getting your information from a credible source, which is, like for every specialty, there is an official website. So for the American College of Cardiology.
I thought you were saying that if I was getting the information from Dr. Google, at least just have a grain of salt and take that. Along with the information. Oh, but you're saying you're saying something else?
I'm saying something very different. So Dr. Google is not always right. Unfortunately, yes, doc, believe it or not. So a lot of that information doesn't take into account your specific situation, your medical history, your family history, the medications you might be taking. And a lot of that requires like a human brain, an actual human brain, to put all of the pieces together. And so while, you know, some of the information my patients have brought me has been useful, it's always important to understand that you have to discuss it with your doctor and not bring it as the, you know, the biblical truth to your doctor. So,
Yeah, because we do come back and say, no, it says that if it's hurting right here, then this is what's wrong. It's not my lungs.
Exactly. But I want to go back a little bit, even from what Dr. Noor mentioned as far as social media, because I do feel like this mistrust is not new, and especially in populations of color and Native Americans. We have a lot of evidence to, you know, there's a lot of reason for this mistrust. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the Tuskegee experiments in Alabama, and if you haven't, it's where men with syphilis were not treated because the doctors at the time wanted to see just how far this disease could go. And so these men of color, these black men, were not treated, and so they were left to suffer in the name of science, so to speak. And then there are other experiments by Marion J. Sims, an OBGYN doctor, who performed experiments on black women without anesthesia. He did all these procedures and experiments. And so, of course, when we have numerous examples of how people of color and minorities were abused really in the name of science, and medicine, it's understandable that there is very little trust. And so we're kind of behind the ball in trying to garner that trust back, especially in these communities.
I like what you're saying and I highlight because you have even Henrietta Lacks.
Exactly, with her stem cells.
The story of right, with her stem cells, and Sarah Bartman because of her body parts. So I like that we're getting to the root of this, but like it looks like we're getting to the root of it, and from the how we say from people of color and from the natives. Is this distrust also coming from the other side?
I think there's you know,
I mean, no. I mean, is it coming? Is it also coming from the whites? Do they trust their doctors or?
I think there's, in medicine generally, I think there's a lack of representation. You know, we still have, you know, I recently came across the statistics, like, I'm not sure, maybe Dr. Alia can correct me, but there's still lack of representation among doctors. You know, we need to have more people of color in medicine, and researchers found that people of color are more than four times likely to prefer to receive care from a physician of their color. The healthcare system would benefit from increased diversity in the healthcare field and actual, you know, education and training for healthcare workers to reduce this discrimination in treatment. And it's shocking that this is, in this day and age, that this still happens, but it's very, very much alive and real, like Dr. Alia said. And, you know, recent studies have shown that there is difficulty in access of care to people of lower socioeconomic status or of people of color. And it's very unfortunate.
I have another confession to make. I don't know you. The doctors are curing me, right? So I had this same problem. Like, I know all of this history that Dr. Alia is bringing to me. I know all of this history. And so that made me, I'd be like, nope, not going to the hospital. I'll be fine. I feel like one of those movies, you know, I watch movies a lot too, and be like, oh, I'll stitch it up myself. Oh,
yeah, it's so true. People avoid visiting the doctor unless they absolutely need to. You're not alone in that. I think people are afraid to go see, you know, unfortunately, the healthcare system has become increasingly impersonal and really difficult from a patient's perspective.
And to go back to your question, Brother Omar, as far as with Caucasians, if they feel the same way, I don't have any specific numbers, unfortunately, to share, but I have just my experience. And in my experience, I have not seen that amount of mistrust in the white patients that I treat versus the people of color. But then again, I'm also a woman of color, so it helps. I do know that it does help me to connect with my patients, being a woman of color, to connect with other minorities. There is definitely an unspoken thread and a connection with them, and I feel that they are more appreciative of the things that I tell them. And I've even had patients say that, we have to stick together, things like that. I've had people tell me that, or I'm so proud to see a Black woman as a doctor, you know what I mean? And they feel comfortable saying that
Right.
to me. And I don't have those experiences with my white patients, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get this image of the patient and say, we have to stick together as you're just giving them a shot.
That's so funny. But it's true. I think patients do report, studies have shown that patients report like higher satisfaction rates when they're treated by a doctor with a similar background. So I think there's a lot to say there.
I feel like that we maybe got to the root of what some of the mistrust issues are, and then we need to encourage more people of color to be humans helping other humans, commit to that. I find that there are more people of color going into wholesome, what do you call those, like the homeopathic,
Holistic?
holistic medicine, like, and we have those stores, the health food stores. And do you guys have an issue with the holistic versus Western medicine?
Essentially, I feel as though people want to always go towards something that's natural because they always think that something that's natural is better for them. And so I always have to remind them poison ivy is natural and it's not good for you, So it's a very prime example of how not everything natural is necessarily better or best. And so you have to look at the bigger picture rather and understand that some of these natural medications have active ingredients in them. And so some natural supplements act like regular medications. There are some medications that have the same active ingredient in cholesterol medicine, for example. It's just found in red rice, I believe is what it's in the supplement. And so it can just as equally lower your cholesterol. It's just that we don't know enough about these supplements to be able to really measure its effect. And so with medications, because of the research that has gone into being able to prescribe them, we have more information about the side effect profile, the adverse effects, the safety information, how it reacts with other medications. And so sometimes medications are a safer way to go because we know more about them. With supplements, sometimes we really don't know. It does not have to be FDA approved. And so unfortunately, there's not a lot of regulation when it comes to supplements in this country. And so I would say if I'm not against them, but definitely if you are taking any, bring it up with your physician so that they can help make sure that it's not interacting with other things.
I completely agree.
Okay, well, here's the question, because you guys are doctors, like, how can I bring this up to you about my neem and my turmeric if you don't know neem or turmeric?
Well, I personally know neem and turmeric.
Oh, or how can I bring up my black seed oil to you? Oh, we swear by the black seed.
That's where you got to go see somebody of people of color because we got your back.
When my patients bring up supplements that I am unfamiliar with, because there are a lot out there, I'll be honest with you. I always tell them I'm honest with them, and that's really important, of course, with good communication, is that honesty. I'm not going to make things up.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to discredit something without looking into it. And so my patients have brought things up to me that I'd never heard of. And so I tell them, I will look it up. I do not know at this minute, but I will look it up and I will call you. And I have called patients back afterwards and told them, hey, I looked it up. I don't think that's for you. Let's stick with this. And so, if you have a good relationship with your doctor, absolutely, you can ask them, hey, I really need you to help me figure this out. Can I take this? Is this going to be okay? And if they're there, to help you, which they should be, then they will help you look it up. Right. If they don't know, then they will find out.
I do the same.
I would love to know which one of those supplements that you told that patient that it's not for them. But before you tell us, we got to go to commercial. We got to come right back because guess what, guys? It might not be for me or you either. We'll be right back. And welcome back. So listen, I need to know. Dr. Alia El Barwani, can you remember what the supplement was that you had to instruct this person that doesn't seem like it's for you, even though it's holistic? What was it?
I do. I do. I don't remember the name of the brand that she was talking about, and you might regret asking this question, but it was a vaginal suppository.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
okay.
There you go.
Okay. Yes. Well,
You asked.
Okay. Yeah. That's true.
Funny.
I like that. We need to know. Brothers, men, we need to learn these things. That's right. We need to learn. We don't need to run.
You ask, we answer.
That was good. I set myself up.
You kind of did. You kind of did.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm one of those people where I would run to supplements, and now everybody is doing the CMOS. And now, I mean, something that's happened inside of that, people are even trusting CBD over maybe the doctor, what the doctor would tell them to do as far as better healthy living, and getting off of depressants and or this addiction to opioids. And what do you doctors say about all of this stuff?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I don't deal with much besides people asking regularly about marijuana use for glaucoma. That's one thing that
Dr. Noor is like, I'll stick to those eyes, right?
we're not fans of unless you're going to be smoking it all day every day. And but no, yeah, it's not something we recommend. So for glaucoma treatment. But there are a lot of, people come in with all sorts of medications, talking about essential oils and things like that. And, there's certain things we have to review things and really kind of tailor to each patient if it's something that's going to conflict with their current medication or whatnot. So.
But make sure that you build a relationship with the doctor. I like this. So for the biggest question that I have, that's Dr. Noor, you're sharing something?
No, I was going to say, going back to the art of medicine, I think medicine is truly an art, and unfortunately, it's something that's getting lost with our current healthcare system. And I think that's one of the issues that I wanted to bring up in terms of patients losing trust in doctors. As physicians, we go into medicine to help people, but the pressures of the healthcare system, a lot of times doctors are finding that they're not able to spend as much time, that face-to-face time, and there's a burden. Doctors are spending hours and hours on documentation, and it's the insurance companies, and nurses and doctors spend so much time documenting their care than actually having that face-to-face contact with patients. I think that's one of the biggest sources of also kind of that increased lack of trust. The art of medicine is not there anymore, as there's more and more pressures on doctors. If you didn't document it, it didn't happen. Or I remember starting my first week of residency, and I remember my chairman of the department had asked me, he had said, Dr. Noor, do you know what are the odds of an ophthalmologist getting sued in their lifetime? And I remember little innocent Noor answering, I think I said 20%, and he just broke out laughing. He's like, 20%? He's like, honey, it's 100%.
Wow.
And I was like, what? 100%? And so there's just the system that we have. It just, doctors are always just trying to cover their backs, documents, and that translates, that lack of face-to-face contact with doctors is translating as lack of care as well. And so I think that, things have to change. The system needs to change.
That's what it sounds like to me. And so let me ask you, Dr. Noor, did you take the vaccine?
I did. I'm glad you asked that.
How are you doing? Did you turn into anything?
Alhamdulillah. I haven't mutated yet. I still have all my arms and my legs.
Did you have the jitters?
I twitch a little bit here and there, but...
Yeah, all of these are the symptoms that people were saying. Did you start speaking Chinese?
Not yet.
Okay, man, when's that supposed to happen?
بس عربي وبحكي لك مصري وإيجيبشن. I have all وسوري وفلسطيني أنا. I'm waiting for the Chinese to come in. Yeah.
And how about my Dr. Alia?
But yes, to answer your question, I actually just got the first dose today, alhamdulillah.
So you took the vaccine too. So you guys trust the vaccine.
Yeah, this is important.
This is very big news. I'm so excited because we have built a trust with Dr. Noor and Dr. Alia. And since me and the viewers here, we trust you guys. We love you guys. And so you're saying you took the vaccine.
We did, yes.
Yes. We
Alhamdulillah.
did. We
do
trust the
trust the
science.
science.
There, I mean, we just really, it's about tying your camel, right? And so
Right.
this is me tying my camel, is to do what I can to protect myself, and the rest is up to Allah.
Yep, and more, you know, even more importantly, it's protecting others. Like, you know, me getting vaccinated. Maybe if I, you know, I'm young, I'm healthy, but it's others that we're in contact with. Like, honestly, I'm inches away from patients' faces on a daily basis, and most of my patients are elderly. They're over 65, and so protecting them and protecting your loved ones in our elderly community, I think it's important that we, you know, we gotta get past this and we protect them.
So is it real, the way that the vaccines work, they fight off the virus? So even if one of those innocent elderly people who may breathe on you, essentially they would be killers, but we can't call them that because they didn't do it intentionally. Right? If they spread that virus to me, if I have the vaccine, it's going to fight it off.
So the vaccine has shown to be the most effective one is 95% effective, and so it has shown to reduce the severity of symptoms. So what that means is there's still that 5%, and I believe it's either 6% in the other one because it's 94% effective, where you have, you know, it's not, because again, it's not 100%. So it's a very small chance, but there is a chance that you could still catch it.
Right? If you have a 5% chance, then you're supposed to have it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But let me ask you, what about the COVID-20?
Don't even talk. Don't even say that. Inshallah, it's behind us.
Okay, I like that. Oh man, this has been, I like this show, this episode. I'm so grateful that we were able to call our doctors.
Thank you for that, Omar.
Man, this is, it makes me feel good because I have the same issue, and I don't know if you guys are like me, but I'd be like, doctors, they're like, Omar, go to the hospital. No.
Well, you can come and see Noor and I anytime.
Oh man, this is so good, but I got to get the right insurance, PPO. I'm gonna put this out there that I'm gonna have this show as we're gonna start our Noor Al Barawani Hospital, right? Until we do that, I think there is a show that Dr. Alia you have, and you as a doctor. What's this show?
Yes, it's called What's Up, Doc, and it's on Muslim Network TV.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, do you like that?
I love
That
it.
was the title I came up with.
Very catchy. I love it.
And we're on YouTube, we're on Muslim Network TV website, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Galaxy Satellite 19. Wow. So you can find us there, yeah.
All right, and are we able to submit our symptoms to you?
I'll collect your copay first.
Listen, okay, after my copay, can I put my symptoms in the comments?
Don't do that.
Please don't. Please don't do that.
Okay. Listen, we had so much fun. Please, everybody, give a nice big hand for our Dr. Noor and Dr. Alia.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining the show. Stay tuned for my musical guests, and we'll be right back.
To the OR immediately.
Paging Dr. Khan to the OR stat. Paging Dr. Khan to the OR stat.
Patient on the table, blood pressure, vitals are stable, respiratory rate dip. Soon as this propofol drip hits him, he's intubated. Right over his vocal cord slipped, and out of consciousness he slips into the silence of abyss. I grab the scalpel, wipe the chest with betadine and alcohol, then tackle this decision to make this 8-inch incision. No pressure, patience, precision, focus the cloak of a surgeon. To grab the saw, cut open the sternum. retracted wall, and I could see the coronary artery of the heart is all plaqued up with cholesterol. A vest to call the nurse, tell her to grab that shot of potassium, to passing them to stop the beat of the drum. But if we stop the heart, how does he live when the procedure is done? Got to shunt the blood to a machine that will artificially clean, pump it back to the body, give it life, but I'm limited 90 minutes, cause after that the tissues are finished and oxygen doesn't get back to the brain. So give me the leg, the sap in his veins, so I could make a graft of it, then I'ma grab my stitch. Needle driver, forceps, a hemostats and clips. Cut the vessel, sprays the rubber, keep following, aim the suction as I make a dissection, detecting that I'ma need about 12 stitches to go around this 2mm section on each end of the LAD. I didn't use a microscope to visualize what the eye can see, but this intensity is too immense for me. You know I've done the surgery endlessly. I'm stressing, breathing, sweating, my hand is shaking. I'm resting somebody's life within the every brink of my thinking. I'm only human, but it's human. Ain't got no room for no blinking. The hourglass goes sinking. Got to stick to my heart's instincts to sew this heart back to existence. So it's tight, so it's not leaking. Transfuse him so he's not bleeding. Take him off pump, get his heart rate up. Reconnect the aorta and vena cava. Wires used to realign the breastplate up. Put staples down his incision, then walk away. He'll wake up. Wake up.
For coming out tonight. If you need to see the doctor, you're gonna have to make an appointment like everybody else, okay? So listen, thank my humans for helping other humans, better known than doctors. Thank all of you for coming and tuning in and loving your host, Omar Regan. Yay! Thank all of you, thank all of me, thank all of we. See you next week. Ta-da!